Hi. So this is the end of my disclosures for the time being. So, but what all my papers are now up on Academia.edu. But you can't beat the quality of and the speed of Richard Price, who's the CEO of Academia.edu. He has a PhD from the University of Oxford in the philosophy of perception, so that in itself is fantastic. But what he's doing here with Academia.edu is fantastic, and he's so ethical in his very ethical. He's a real Democrat. There's no question. He is absolutely, totally, and he's a brilliant guy with a fantastic mind. But the latest, what he's offering people that use Academia.edu is he converts your paper into a fantastic presentation, and AI presentation. So I'm just going to show you what he's done with this one and how he's worded it. It's absolutely excellent. So I'll just show you what it is. So we'll do the presentation for the fun of it, and you just get an idea of it now. So we'll turn it around here and we'll switch. Okay, so this is the first page of the presentation, judicial oversight and accountability in Ireland. Isn't that beautiful? In Ireland's whistleblowing framework. And then if we zone in here, we'll get analysing the impact of the Protective Disclosures Amendment 2022 to acts of omission and legal protections. So let's go to the next page. So then he has the whole thing. The introduction to the Protective Disclosures, understanding acts of omission in law, structural changes, constitutional issues, rights implications, probabilistic analysis, etc., consequences for accountability and justice, key recommendations for reform, summary of legal and constitutional concerns, conclusion, restoring judicial authorities. So let's go to the next page. It's absolutely beautiful. I have to say now, I couldn't do it better than this. Introduction to the Protective Disclosures Amendment. So I'm available for hire by the Ethics Committee of the Law Society if they want. So here we have focus on acts of omission. So this is the other thing, and the other thing is establishment of the Office of the Protective Disclosures Commission, limitations of the office, the OPCD. And you see, isn't it fantastic and various? And then here, understand the acts of omission. Oh yes. So we have it here. Definition, very good. Justice role in judicial role addressing omissions. Legal liability of omissions. That's very important. Legal liability of omissions. And then judicial functions determining omissions. And all the, see this. Oh, it's brilliant. And then here we go again. Structural changes introduced to the 2022 amendment. New framework overview. Impact on judicial oversight. And then role of prescribers. Constitutional issues, Article 34 and separation of powers. Judicial function under Article 34, violation of separation of powers, risk to judicial independence. Rights, Article 40.3 in EU law, compromised fair procedures and remedies. EU law requirements for protection and tribunal access. Breach of guarantees in the 2022 framework. The 2002 framework breaches these guarantees by assigning assessments to non-independent, non-judicial bodies, undermining the principle of, if that's a legal term, effective protection. Probabilistic analysis of judicial versus administrative assessment. Increased likelihood of error. Very good. Unreliability of, I studied the theory of reliability of the 2022 framework. Compounding risks in administration filtering. And importance of judicial oversight is essential to maintain confidence intervals within acceptable limits for justice. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Confidence intervals. Oh, better still. governments for accountability and justice. Erosion of judicial oversight, institutional self-protection, barrier to justice, systemic non-compliance. It's absolutely beautiful. Except, of course, key recommendations for reform, legislative amendment, training and guidance, referral mechanisms, immediate judicial access, guarantee whistleblowers direct access to the High Court where omissions are denied or disregarded. Transparency, remove freedom of information exemptions that obscure omissions cases from public scrutiny. So there, the most important one there is immediate judicial access. Guarantee whistleblowers direct access to the High Court when omissions are denied or disregarded. Summary of legal constitutional concerns. So this one is delegation of omission assessments. 2022 amendment reclaims the concept of omissions but removes judicial means to adjudicate them. Yes, that's right. I thought it had changed them to commissions. No. Delegation omission assessments to administrative bodies creates a constitutional and legal gap. So this is the constitutional time bomb. Violation of separation of powers, critical. Delegating omission assessments violates separation of powers and fair procedure rights. The structural flaw undermines the integrity of Ireland's whistleblower protection regime. That's the violation of separation of powers. Risks to accountability. The structural flaw risks injustice and diminishes accountability. It affects the effectiveness of Ireland's whistleblower protection regime. Constitutional conclusion, restoring judicial authority. Judicial role in upholding constitutional guarantees. Judicial determination of omissions is essential to uphold constitutional guarantees and protect whistleblowers. Authority of courts in interpreting legal standards. Only courts possess the authority to interpret duties, rights and negligence standards necessary for fair adjudication. Ensuring accountability and transparency. Restoring the judicial role will ensure effective accountability under Irish and EU law, safeguarding transparency and justice in whistleblowing protection. So that's it, really. So that's the brilliant summary presentation of the key concerns I have about, clearly, they're made very, very clear there in the brilliant new offering by Richard Price, CEO of Academia.edu, where he converts your paper into a beautiful, absolutely beautiful presentation. Couldn't be clearer. And that's absolutely fantastic. So I'm available, to give this presentation to anybody who. But sure, you can see it here. It's very clear here. So it's beautiful to look at, and but it's a time bomb. Yeah, it's very clear what the issues are now here. So this is what AI can do. You see, it's so clear, but the clarity is my mind, and this just helps to make it clear. Absolutely. So myself and Richard Price are the best of friends as a result.